Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, educates, and empowers you. We talk about the art of intentional living here, and I'm very excited about our show today because I have on an amazing woman, guest, influencer, mom, entrepreneur, and so much more. And her name is Ali Levine, and she's going to come on the show today, and she's going to share her story, her rise to celebrityhood and fame, and how she's pivoted and transitioned in her own life doing what she's doing now. So very, very excited about today's show. So I hope you're all doing really well out there. If you are watching this for the first time, I want to say welcome to the show. If you've been here before, I want to say welcome back. So where can you catch us? You can catch us live at E360 TV at 11:03 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, it's a strange time, but that's what time we go live. 11:03 a.m. Pacific time on E360 TV. You can also see us live on Facebook at I Have Today with Diane Forster and on my YouTube channel at I Have Today with Diane Forster. And the area where I can see your comments and your feedback is on Facebook Live. So if you are here and want to let me know who you are, where you're from, how you're doing today, and any questions you might have, either from me or Ali, that is the place to go. So that's what's going on here. So what the theme of our show is today is how to become a successful influencer, because Ali sure is that, but she's a whole lot more. And I think you're going to be really surprised and delighted when you hear what she has to say about what that means, because, you know, influencers can tend to get a bad rap and a bad name. And that doesn't have to be the case. And that's certainly not the case for her. You know, she's going to dispel some of those myths today, and what she's doing in her life, how she's running her life, and what's happening for her, and how she's using her life to really help and inspire others just by being who she is. So I'm so excited to have her on the show. All right. So let me just say before we pull on Ali and do our interview with her, please stay till the very end of the show, because we have a couple things coming up after my interview with Ali. We have the Mentor Me Minute segment where I take your questions live, either here in the comments section or the ones that you email us in at, what's the link, Mentor Me? At dianeforster.com/mentor me. I always screw it up. Don't trust me with URLs or anything like that. I'm going to screw it up. Oh, there. Kelly's got the ticker running. So you can send in your questions ahead of time, and it doesn't matter what it is. It's literally ask me anything, and I will mentor you for 1 whole minute, usually longer, on whatever it is that's going on in your life. If it's related to love or money, success, happiness, relationships, you know, well-being, mindset, whatever it is, especially right now with what's going on. There's been a lot of talk about what's happening to people during this time of COVID, and the changes and the COVID fatigue and the lethargy and the depression and the isolation, and just so many people are suffering right now. So my heart goes out to all of you. I send you love and light and well wishes and health and love and happiness, and stay safe. And so anyway, so this actually is our last show for the year. Woohoo! Ali's last guest of the year. So it's been so great so far. We've been on E360 TV since June. We've done 20 some odd episodes live. That each guest has been extraordinary, and I'm so excited about it. And I am proud to say that we are the #1 show in the most minutes watched, which means you guys are staying through the end, which you should. So like I was saying, let me segue back into what I was talking about. So stay to the Mentor Me Minute segment that comes up after the interview, and then stay till the very end, because I always give away an amazing gift. And I always do a powerful mantra meditation that ties in everything that we're talking about on the show, so that you get the healing on a spiritual, on an emotional, on a physical, on a mental level, on a cellular level, so that you leave this show today at the end of it feeling better than you did at the beginning of the show. We're all about healing and improvement. One of my expressions is 1% better every day. If you do 1% better every day, that'll equate to 3,778% in a year. Isn't that awesome? Right? So anyway, this is our last show. So please do stay to the end. You do not want to miss the mantra meditation. And before I bring on Ali, one other thing that I wanted to say is a little teaching moment about the opportunity to pivot, which I know Ali's going to share her story too. But so in my family, we've been doing Thanksgiving. We've been doing Thanksgiving for years and years and years, and it's a long history. My Aunt Eileen, my amazing Aunt Eileen, started the family tradition like so many years ago. So we used to go to her house for many, many, many years. She's in her 90s now, and the woman is still rocking, still kicking it. She's awesome. And then our families grew, and then we started doing the every other year thing with that side of the family. And then for the last several years, my sister has been hosting it consistently. And she just decided with COVID this year that she wasn't up for it and didn't want to do it. And so, of course, I'm a little disappointed because I love this. This is my favorite holiday. I love Thanksgiving so much. I love the cooking. I love the eating. I love the entertaining. I love the whole gamut. And so we weren't going to do it. And I know my kids are disappointed too. And this is my holiday with my children. They're going to be in Chicago with their dad for Christmas. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to host Thanksgiving. So I got so excited, pivoted in my mind. I went grocery shopping yesterday. I had so much fun grocery shopping, and I'm so excited to cook this big meal. And I'm gonna give some meals away because I know there are some people that I know that are alone. So they probably don't want to come because of COVID, but I'm going to make sure to feed them and surprise them. And I just got so excited about that because I used to cook and bake. And when I was raising my kids and working at ABC, I mean, I loved it so much. I loved hosting holidays, and I really haven't been doing it. And I got so inspired yesterday, and I wasn't going to do a Christmas tree because I haven't had a Christmas tree in the last 5 years. I bought a Christmas tree. So I'm doing the whole thing this year. And I'm just so excited about it. And it's just, it's pivoting in a moment, and it's choosing to take advantage of opportunity. And this is an opportunity for me and for you to hear this, to think about your attitude in it and make the most out of your life, make the most out of your today. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And it really is a decision that happiness is a choice. It is truly a choice. And it's a decision that you get to make. So I just wanted to share that story with you and let you know what's going on here. And, I also did a little thing last night where I reached out to, oh God, I don't know. I want to say about 50 people last night, either through private messenger on Facebook or DM on Instagram or texting, and told every person how much, oh, it makes me cry when I say this, how much they mean to me, how blessed I feel to have them in my life. And I'm wishing them a, wonderful, happy Thanksgiving as we enter the week. Because I know as the week goes on, everybody gets flooded and inundated, and you're sending so many messages and you're getting so many messages and you're replying to so many messages. I just wanted to take a quiet hour by myself and just reach out to some of the people that I love and let them know. And I'm not done. So if you didn't get a message from me, I'm not done. But really living in gratitude and appreciation in the moment, and taking this opportunity, despite everything that's going on in the world, to really live in gratitude and appreciation. So, oh, hey, you know what, Kelly? I thought of one other thing that I want to add. I'm going to have 2 giveaways today. The Thanksgiving sheet. Do you have can you make a banner really quick for that? All right, cool. Yeah, so I have a surprise because there's a tradition that we do. So make sure you remind me, Kelly, so I don't forget, all right? Because usually when I come out of the mantra meditation, I'm in the woo-woo state too. So anyway, there's two things that I want to give away. Wait, I was just going somewhere else with this. Just to be in gratitude and appreciation and be thankful that no matter what's going on in the world, that you have that opportunity and to truly count your blessings. All right. So the theme of our show is how to become a successful influencer. And I'm about to introduce Ali on the show, but let me share with you our intention statement. Our intention statement is something that we do every week that is, a powerful affirmation for you. And today it is, I have today to influence others by being my authentic self. I have today to influence others by being my authentic self. And so Kelly made the wallpaper. Every week she makes these gorgeous wallpapers so that you can use it as your screensaver and you can look at that all day long. The 150 times a day that you look at your cell phone, you can see that affirmation statement and that intention statement. So that is on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. And there's a little button there that says wallpapers, and they're all in there. So pick the ones that resonate with you. All right. Free wallpapers on Instagram at Diane Forster Official. Okay. All righty. Well, let's go. Let's get ready. I am about to introduce to you TV personality, influencer, lifestyle and fashion expert, Ali Levine. Welcome to the show, Ali.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm so excited and honored to be here with you.
Well, it's an honor to have you here. When Ali and I met, we just instantly clicked. It was one of those things. And I've been fortunate enough to be on her show, and now I'm blessed to have her on my show. So just, doing synergistic stuff and collaborating together and making this world a better place, right? What is there anything better than that?
No.
Yeah. Well, good. All right. Well, before we get into the interview, I want to read a little bit about you, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. A little sip of water there. Okay. Ali Levine was born and raised in New York. She has worked for some of the biggest names in the fashion industry. Ali relocated to Los Angeles and went from New York hotshot to the it girl in styling. After countless celebs and best dressed major publications, Ali became a household name as a celebrity stylist. She recently appeared with her husband on Bravo's hit show Stripped, where her limelight personality really took off. Ali now makes regular camera appearances on local and national television shows, promoting herself as a brand, becoming an on-camera expert. After Ali had her two daughters, Amelia Ray and Arlie Jo, she transitioned to mompreneur and a mommy influencer across the board, belonging to sought-after mommy groups. Her fashion sense plus real-life style today inspires so many who follow her and cover her. She has a podcast that was named New and Noteworthy, and it's called Everything with Ali Levine. She shares her real and raw motherhood journey, as well as inspiring stories from celebs, experts, public figures, and more. Wow, Ali, so incredible. So much in there. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I want you to share your story. All right. So this it girl and New York hotshot. I mean, I want to hear a little bit about that first before we get into what you're doing now. And what you're doing now is so amazing too. Continue.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the beautiful intro. And I am so excited to be here today. And I love everything you're doing with I Have today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm originally from New York. I moved to Los Angeles over 10 years ago now to pursue celebrity styling and, be in this world of fashion. I worked in retail in New York. I worked in a corporate design, as you mentioned, for many different designers like Coach and Talbots and Lacoste and big name, household names, and got my start, doing that, as well as retail with Target. And after quite some time of working in that, I realized, I wanted to do more with actual people and being in more of the fast-paced lifestyle. And styling really wasn't a term that was coined just yet. Rachel Zoe hadn't really came into play yet of being like known as a hot stylist. It was more like there were shoppers and the fashion. So I was just kind of exploring, like, what did that look like? And, you talked about before you brought me on how, how we're all learning how to pivot and how, the world is, right? And so I also had one of those moments back when I was, younger, where the stock market crashed in New York. And I was working in corporate design and everything had just gone on hold. And it was like, okay, sorry, you don't have a job anymore. And and you figure it out, and I remember at that age being like, oh my gosh, like I just left my retail job to get, strong in corporate, to do design, to learn all these things. I'm finally paving the way for myself and doing well and successful. And now this, and, after having my freak out moment and everything else, I was able to say, okay, you know what? I've been exploring the idea of doing something other than being in a corporate office. I've been wanting more, but we're too afraid to go for more. I wanted a steady paycheck, and I, was taught that you want stability and, all of those things. And so I was able to then start, researching what it looked like to be more in the trending world of things. And that was the entertainment industry, and I had some contacts that I was able to reach out to ask for advice, as well as, potential interviews and introductions. And I was very grateful for that. And I went and had, different interviews with different people. And I landed my first real position as a production assistant to Oliver Stone, the famous and incredible, director and producer. And I worked for him on Wall Street Money Never Sleeps with, Shia LaBeouf and Michael Douglas and, incredible people.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that was my first, I was not fashion in the beginning by any means. It was coffee and donuts and 5 a.m. runs and, whatever they needed me to do, I was doing at the crack of dawn or super late at night when everybody went home. But it was my step into that world and getting to experience it. And after a lot of hard work and, working with them, they said to me, what do you want to be doing? And I said, well, I came from fashion and design, and I want to check that out in this world. I don't know exactly what that looks like. And Oliver was amazing. And he introduced me to the costume team on that movie. And I got to work with Ellen Marajnik, who's a super famous costume designer and incredible, and, met just amazing people, and really got my start as a costume assistant and started working in New York on movies and TV sets.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So that was like, the real start. I had no idea really where I was going. I just knew I was doing coffee, donuts. I mean, even when I got into costume, I was still doing, feed her cat, go get her clothes, pick up this, pick up that, kind of Devil Wears Prada-ish, movie for those that have seen it. But I was learning, and I was so excited just to get to be next to these people who were insanely successful, and looked up to, and be able to see, hey, maybe one day, that could be me. So I got that experience and, got to work with them. And, long story short, fast forward, after doing quite a few movies and TV shows in New York, I got offered to go to Atlanta to work on Big Mama's House with Martin Lawrence and his team. And I went to Atlanta and worked, as a costume assistant there. And one of the main teams was from Los Angeles. And very similar to like you and I had wonderful synergy, I had the same with them. And they were like, what are you doing in New York? And I was like, well, that's where I'm from. And I've had amazing opportunities there. And they were like, yeah, but for what you want to experience and the trending and everything, they're like, you need to go to LA and go into styling. And I was like, what? I really didn't know styling fully just yet. Rachel Zoe had just kind of taken off. I was learning about it, but still didn't know it was like a real job. And so, I packed my bags. They literally offered me after the movie an opportunity to go work with them, get me set up, which like, you got to see those opportunities when they come, because they're once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like amazing. I mean, incredible costume designers, assistants, supervisors. And they were like, let's go, come with us. We'll get you set up. We'll help you get in the costume union, and we'll help you get going. And then you can take it from there. So I turned to my boyfriend, who's now my husband, Justin, and I said, hey, I want to go out to LA. I want to go do my thing and try this and give it a go. And so I did, and I moved, out to LA with really like no job, but at least connections. And here I am 10 years later. And it was a very scary jump and very exciting and nerve-wracking all at once, but I'm grateful I did it. And I believe every step that I took and every relationship and, network and connection I made has led me to where I am now.
Yes, I believe that too. I agree. And you were brave enough to ask for the support and get the support and receive it. That's fantastic. I love it. I love it, Allie.
So, came out here and then I started, working for them, of course. Like they had asked me to make sure I worked for them when they brought me out and set me up, which I did. And then after doing a little bit of that, I realized, okay, costume really isn't for me. What would I like to do? And that really was styling. And I had to kind of start all over again because even though I had the costume experience, I didn't have styling. So I had to kind of check my ego and say, okay, what am I going to do? And I started interning and assisting stylists like Monica Rose for the Kardashians and, Kanye West stylist Fernando Lupadora and all these different people to get experience in this field, and again, after quite a bit of work of assisting and working really hard, I started getting asked to style my own clients who really didn't have a name. They were like, D-list, celebrities and, no name people. But the cool thing about, Hollywood is things can happen overnight, things can change and movies can happen and shows can come and people get opportunities, and so I had quite a few clients that happened to get great opportunities. Some great PR firms reached out to me and asked me to dress them. And all of a sudden I was getting, best dressed and known as the woman behind it.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Good for you. Congratulations. That's fantastic. All right. So let's pivot into what you're doing now. And yes. Okay. So talk about being a mompreneur and a mommy influencer and that journey.
Absolutely. So thank you for asking. So basically after, quite a few years of being a successful stylist, opening my company, Ali Levine Design, and getting to work with incredible people, as you mentioned, when you introed me, I started doing TV shows, being asked, best dressed, how do you get that look? What does that look like? And so I started doing on camera work, just saying, hey, put these necklaces together like I did with this celebrity and, wear this kind of dress. It's very similar to this. And, having fun with celebrity looks and creating these looks on camera. And then that turned into, hey, can you speak to just lifestyle, fashion, beauty, everyday products, and so I started doing more of that on camera for national and local news, and just talking about that as an expert. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I started getting, asked to be on more cameras, styling different people, on these shows on Bravo and E and these different places and being seen there. And then, like you mentioned, wound up on a crazy show on Bravo. That was actually my husband and I that highlighted our lives. And basically, for those that haven't seen it, it was quite the adventure. But basically, they take everything away from you for 21 days. And it's how do you survive mentally, physically, emotionally? What do you learn from that experience? And, what do you take away from it? And so, after the show, we got pregnant with our first daughter, Amelia. And I was very much in, the limelight at that time. And so my motherhood journey and pregnancy got highlighted because of that, because I was just coming off this show and people wanted to see my journey. And so, at first, I honestly didn't really even think, I didn't even think I was going to get pregnant so quickly. It really was kind of a surprise, a beautiful surprise, but it was like, oh my gosh, we talked about it on the show that my husband had always wanted us to move forward in that. And I was very career focused and very much of a workaholic. And so, he was like, I really want us to start a family. When are we going to do it? And for me, it was always like next day, and years would go by. And so, that plays out on the show. And so fast forward, I get pregnant and I step into the whole motherhood world and I start sharing my pregnancy journey and I'm having fun dressing, styling the bump and giving people, tips on everything and sharing, my own hardships with my pregnancy and how that was going. And then, to be really honest and real and raw, after I had my daughter, The birth was not what I thought it was going to be and what I had imagined it to be and made, in my mind. I wanted a water birth, natural, the whole thing. After a long, hard labor, I was transferred to the hospital and ended up in a unexpected C-section. And, that trauma was really, really hard, not only on my body, but on my mind. And once I had Amelia, it was really hard for me to show up on social media as this glam personality that I had been for so long.
Yes.
And, I had to step into this role of like, I am a new mom. I'm maybe not going to look put together all the time because I'm covered in, God knows what, and feeding and nursing, and doing all the things. And in the beginning, to be honest, Diane, it was really hard. And I signed off of social media. I didn't go on for quite a few months because I couldn't. It made me feel really dark. It made me feel really alone. It made me feel really isolated. And so I had to sign off for my own health and well-being. Wow. And that was a really hard decision as someone who is on social media. But I had to at the time, And so after finally getting help with my postpartum depression, navigating all of that, I came back to social media. And I realized that I couldn't write about fluff anymore. I couldn't. And when I say fluff, I mean, I couldn't write about just style tips and leave it there. I would start typing and I'd see myself saying like, well, and this dress will make you feel great. And then I'd want to go into a whole deep dive of confidence, and it was like, all of a sudden I couldn't turn off the emotions inside of me. And so instead of turning them off, I said, well, you know what? I'll just say what I need to say, and I was scared, but I started sharing my postpartum depression and my journey. And, it was quite the shakeup on my social, to be honest. A lot of people were like, whoa, I'm not here for this, I lost, some of my following. And then a beautiful thing happened. So many women and moms rallied around me, older moms, younger moms, moms to be, saying, thank you for sharing this. And thank you for being honest. And I find this really relatable. And that's really where that mompreneur, the mommy influencer took off. But I never in a million years would have dreamed that I would have been, in that position or become that woman online, And so from that, I've just continued to share, like, as you said, my authentic self and show up as real and raw as I can and share my journey. And from that, I'm so grateful that it has turned into an actual business for me. But I would have never expected that, back when I was a celebrity stylist and the most glam and on the red carpet every day and, doing all the things, that this would have become this now. And, I'm so grateful for where I am in my career.
There's so many good little nuggets in that, what you shared. You know what, Ali, it happened because of you. I mean, you are just this light and people respond to you. And you had to do what was right for you. I love that you shut down social media for a while, that you honored yourself. You knew enough that you needed to do that for yourself and for your family.
Thank you.
And, yeah, I'm sure it was, because I mean, my God, we're all addicted to it.
Yeah.
And that you didn't even know this was going to happen. Like you just really didn't.
No, not at all. I mean, I shared it because I felt like I couldn't not share it. I didn't feel authentic if I didn't say the reason I haven't been here is not because I just had to take a vacation. It's because I was having a breakdown. You know what I mean? It was because I was truly feeling dark. I was mourning the death of myself, and who I was before I had my daughter. And so I felt I had to share that, and it was scary, to be honest, Sam, because at first people commented and said not the nicest things. And people were like, that's really, not what you normally share here. And I'm not here for this. Or, wow, that's really heavy and that's too much. And a lot of it was like triggering, I noticed. And it was just like, oh, wow, what did I just do? Like people are unfollowing me. People are messaging me saying like, I'm getting choked up. People are, telling me like, what are you doing? Like, you're a celebrity stylist and you post celebrities and what on you on the red carpet. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not in that space right now. Like, I can't even, get myself together right now to show up to be that person, and I realized too that when I was running to red carpets in the beginning when my daughter was a tiny little thing and I was getting myself dressed in glam and running to the carpets, I would look great on camera and the pictures were great, but I was dying inside.
Yeah.
Because I just felt so heavy and just felt so like, but this is not where I am right now. And I'm forcing myself to be here.
Yes. So true. And you know what? That the people, I can't stand when people say things like that. You know what? Then just say good for you, and
The unfollow button.
and unfollow, right? You don't have to be unkind to anybody. And we all go through transitions and change. We all do it. Absolutely we do. And what I want to highlight is, we said how to become a successful influencer as the title of this show. And it's how you do it is by being your authentic self and just putting yourself out 100%, good days, bad days, the glam and the gruesome, whatever. And let people just see you for who you are and let them respond, because it really is an invitation when you're like that, Ali, for people to love and embrace you even more, and gives them permission to just be their authentic selves too. That's what it does. That energy creates more. That like creates like, and that's a positive thing.
Yes, thank you for that. And that's, I appreciate you bringing it back to that, because that's really where, once I started seeing that it was helping others, it became not only cathartic for me to share and be able to feel like, wow, it's helping me, but it's really helping others, which is amazing. And I never expected it to. But it's also now brought me to a place where when I really think about myself and my brand and everything I share, I always bring it back to that. Like, I will start typing something and I'll realize, no, this is too much fluff. I need to share what it was today. I need to share what was behind this picture, what is behind this message, what is on my heart. And that's really where it's hard. And there's days where it's very vulnerable, but I show up as you said, my authentic self, as real and raw as I can possibly be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is why you've got as many followers as you've got, and growing and growing and growing every day, because they appreciate it. So, so let me ask you a question. Let's talk about this, because we were talking about this before the show started about, you've got a massive following on Instagram, and it's growing by leaps and bounds every day. And what's entailed in that to keep that going? I think people need to know this as an influencer,
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It is a full-time job if you want it to be, part of, your job and your brand and everything. And for me, it is my number one platform. I do have Facebook, I do have Twitter, I do have other ones, but Instagram seems to be right now anyways, where people want me and drag me, and, opportunities show up with brands and projects. And especially when I'm creating content for brands, I have to really think about, like, not only is what my message is, but like, what is the brand, wanting to get out there? And I have to think about the storytelling behind my message along with theirs. And I have those conversations with brands, and I say, hey, I'm not that influencer who's just going to post and say, here's my code, shop this. That's just not who I am. And so if you align with me, then great. And here's how I want to share it. I want to talk about, whether it be, postpartum or motherhood or getting confidence again in what you're wearing, whatever it is. How do we tie it back to a bigger message? And so I think that, that alone is a lot of creative thinking and content creation, and just, making sure that everything stays for me on brand and true to who I am. Anytime I notice that things might not align or go off, I immediately get this like pull, like, nope, that doesn't work. Like, it doesn't feel authentic. People aren't going to resonate with it. So go back and do it again, And so I think it's a lot of content creation, a lot of really asking yourself, like, what your why is, what is that mission that you have, that you want? How do you tie that into everything you share? Because even if it's just something super simple, it still has to tie into you. It still has to be you. Just like for you, I have today, and it all has an incredible fluid message. No matter what guests you have on, no matter what you share, it all ties back to that, and people know that. So it's the same idea with me. It's like you said, I share my authentic self, being authentically you. So it's like, how do I share that in everything that I do, and then engaging with my community. I don't look at it like, I feel very grateful that my following is always growing, but I don't look at it as followers. I look at it as every single person who chooses to follow me, every single person who chooses to engage with me, who chooses to have conversations. And I answer all my comments as much as humanly possible. I answer my direct messages as much as humanly possible. I mean, I spend 3 to 4 hours a day in my DMs alone, just answering the community to say, thank you for being here, and what questions do you have, or how do you want to get to know me? I think that's really important. I have a lot of people that say to me, wow, I really appreciate that you responded. And I say, well, I think that's kind of terrible because I feel like every influencer should respond. If you're a quote unquote influencer, which I told you before the show, I don't love the word, but someone who is of influence, hopefully in an inspiring and empowering way, because we're all here for each other, then, you should be responding. Even if it takes you a week, you should get back and say, hey, I saw your message and I would love, to connect with you, or however you want to. Sometimes I send video or audio messages. I had a mom reach out to me recently who was having a really hard day. And she wrote me and was like, I'm sorry if I'm babbling in the messages, but I'm just having such a hard day. And I, listened to your podcast and I read a bunch of things you wrote and it really inspired me. I just wanted to say thank you. And I just felt called, even though I didn't know her, to just send her a voice message so she could hear me, really affirming what she was saying. And I just said, look, I'm here and thank you for the support. And I'm glad it resonated. And, I hope you have a better day. And, I just tried to give her just some light, just encouragement. And she wrote me back and was like, oh my God, I never expected you to send me a message, and it's like, I think that's a really big lesson in all this is like, especially right now with the world and the pandemic, we're all trying to be here for each other as much as possible and show up for one another. And I feel I'm getting choked up. I feel that's my job right now. It's my job to not only be someone who's posting, but to connect and be there for others and to help them as much as humanly possible, because we all need that connection. We're social creatures, and it's very hard right now that we're not all able to be together. So online, let's try to be together as much as possible.
That is so beautiful, Ali, on so many levels. And you're right. There are so many influencers out there who don't do what you do. It's not about that. And you're right. It is a person on the other end of that follower, and on the other end of that comment and
right.
the hearts and the likes.
They're taking their time to say to you, I love what you shared, or, I love this picture. I love this outfit. Even if it's just a simple comment, it's like, you really have to look at that and be like, but they're taking their energy, their time to say that to me. And I feel very grateful that I have hundreds of comments a day. Not everybody receives that. And I know that. And so I want to, give back and be grateful and be in gratitude and respond as much as possible, even if it's just thank you. Because if someone said to you in person, I love your outfit, you wouldn't just walk by them. Hopefully, you would say, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's how I think of it. I really, how you said there's a person behind it. I really try to think about the actual transaction that is happening online, the actual energy, the actual exchange, versus just, oh, they're following me and this is part of being an influencer. I really think you have to take the ego out of the word influencer and really think about, like, what am I of influence of? How do I show up and how do I serve others?
Well said. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I want to make sure. Okay. Wow, Ali. Okay. Well, is there one final? Oh, first, let me ask you. I forgot to ask. So how do you live the I have today way? And if you don't mind, answer it. Start it with I have today too.
Oh, sure. Okay. So first off, I just love, I love that I have today. I love your affirmations. I told you after you were on my podcast, Everything with Ali Levine, I told you I downloaded your gift that you shared with my audience, and I have it as a screenshot on my phone. And I do those actions every day. I think they're incredible. Incredible.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Well, we're gonna put a link to get those 8 affirmations here. So anyone who's watching can get them too. And I appreciate you using them and sharing them, and that they're having such a positive, profound impact on your life. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And so, to that note that I have today, I would say I have today, going back to what we started with the show, to be authentically me, to show up as myself, and to, work through and be me, you know? And it's like, look, not every day is pretty. There are some days, I even shared with you before I came on your show this morning, there was a lot going on my phone and I was in a little bit of a tizzy and I was a little overwhelmed. And I took that 10 minutes to sit and meditate and find my own zen and calm, because it's really needed during this time. And I, said to myself, I have a lot to do today, but I need to show up as best as I can. So I have today to be authentically me. And we all have today, right? We all don't know what tomorrow is. So we have today, and you want to show up as you would hopefully want to show up as your authentic self. There's only one you. We're all uniquely ourselves, and that's beautiful. So for me, it's, I have today to be authentically me and, own my unique self.
Love it. Beautiful. All right. So how can people find out more information about you and follow you?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. And you can find me, Ali Levine Design, across all platforms, ALILEVINE Design, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, Pinterest, wherever you find on social. AliLevine.com is my website. And I actually am in a revamp right now. So I'm very excited to have some new fun content on there, and just all different ways to connect with me depending on what you actually follow me for and what resonates, whether it be fashion, motherhood, lifestyle, the TV segments I do, all those different things. And,
beautiful.
And my podcast, wherever, you listen to podcasts, Everything with Ali Levine. And please check out the episode with Diane, because it's literally one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's been a privilege to have you on the show. I'm so grateful to you and for you. And I know that you and I are going to be doing some things together for sure.
Yes, I am so grateful. And thank you so much for having me. And I'm so honored to be the last guest of your year.
Of the year. Yes. Yeah. Save the best for last, right?
Thank you.
All right, Ali. Well, thanks again for being here. All right. We'll see you soon.
You.
All right. Bye. I just love her. I love her energy. I love her heart. I love her spirit. She's just amazing, and how authentic she is. She's just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, well, let's move on to the Mentor Me Minute segment right now. Okay. All right. So what is our first question today? Oh, thank you, Danny. I see you there. Thank you so much. Okay. I feel I'm meant to do more with my life and I want to help people, but I don't know where to start. Stacy. Oh my gosh. Stacy. Okay. I hope you're watching this show live, because Ali was such a shining example of that. I love the symmetry. I love the way life works. She didn't know, and life just led her in that direction. So if you feel like you're meant to do more with your life, then you are. So that's a good start. So first thing is you have the awareness, and that's a great thing. So I call it ABCs. Awareness begets change. Once you're aware, then you can make a change. So you want to help people, but you don't know where to start. So where I would start if I were you is I would start by writing down all the things that you love to do, that you're really good at doing, that when you're doing them, time passes by and it loses all meaning. Like it feels like minutes when it's been an hour. Start there. And then also think about the things that people tell you all the time that you're really good at. Oh, you're so good at organizing, or you're so good at numbers, or you're so good at, tech, or whatever. Arts, whatever it is. And if you don't have that list yet, if you're not sure of what people are saying to you, then survey the top 5 or 10 people in your life. Survey your family and your friends and say, I want to know what you think about me, what you think I'm really good at. And that's a great thing to do. I did that exercise years ago, and it was so clarifying and illuminating. And so that's where I would start. And then the third thing is, so write down that list of things, then, ask the people closest to you or think about what they say. But if you don't know that, then survey them. And then the third and last step I would do is Put a date on the calendar. Pick a date in the future, whether it's 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 months from now, when you want to make this change. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know what this is yet, but put it on the calendar. All right. So give yourself some time to figure that out and just write it on the calendar and write, starting my new life today. Circle it a bunch of times so that the universe can go to work and start bringing you some of those answers to the questions that you're asking. So tap into that as well. All right. I hope that helped you, Stacy. Okay. What's next? Okay. This is from Mindy. I just got out of a toxic marriage and I feel so alone and broken. How do I start my life over? Well, I'm really, really sorry, Mindy. I know that is difficult and challenging, and many, many, many people go through it, and including me. So, how do you start your life over? Okay, so let me see. I just gave 3 tips in the last answer. I think I'll give 3 tips in this answer. Okay, let's start there. All right, so I'll give you actionable steps. The number 1 thing is to reach out for help. Whether it's a girlfriend or a sister or friends, reach out to help. Don't stay stuck in your aloneness, okay? Let people know that you're feeling alone. Even if they can't do anything about it, you just need to express it. And you need to just allow them to be there for you in whatever capacity they're able to be there and that you need, okay? So, please know that you aren't alone and find resources. And if you don't have an immediate family or connection or circle, tap into some of the resources that are online. There is help and support out there. Get into social media groups, and get support there. Build relationships and connections there. So that's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I'll say is, all right, the toxicity of the marriage is over. It's over. You're out of it, right? Don't keep talking about it. Get over it, get help, heal from it, but do not keep talking about it in your life. Do not be every time you're in a new situation or you're talking to a girlfriend or you're in an environment that you would normally talk about him, the relationship. I'm assuming it's a him, could be a her. You're doing that. You need to break that habit because you're keeping the toxicity alive, and that's going to delay your healing and moving on from it. You've got to stop talking about it. Only talk about it in the right settings with the right people, professional coach, professional therapist. The toxicity is not happening anymore. Okay? So, and then the last thing, how do you start your life over? You do it by creating it, by writing it, dreaming about it. And I know you're probably in a funk right now and you probably can't even think about another person or another relationship right now or what to do next. And you're dealing with a lot of trapped emotions and pain and all of that. But the path out of starting your life over is to create it. And the best way to create it is to visualize it, to write it, to talk about it. If you've lived in this relationship for however long that was, and it was really unhappy, then design in your mind the kind of relationship you want. All of the opposite things that you weren't getting in there, bring that stuff to life. Start there. Now think about you and ask those important questions. What do I want really? And, why do I want it? And who do I want to be at the end of this journey of my life? How can I take what happened to me and pivot this and turn this around so that you look back on your life when you're looking back and you go, remember that time when I was just getting out of that toxic relationship and I didn't know how to start my life over because I was feeling so alone, and all these amazing things that happened to me? You got to create it. All right. So I send you love and light. both to Mindy and Stacy. Both of you private message us on Facebook, and we will send you an I Have Today mug. All right? All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, if you want to send in your questions, you're going to send them in at dianeforster.com/mentor me, or you need to be here live on Facebook to put the questions in the comment section. So, all righty. All right, this is actually our last live show of the year. We are taking the month of December off. We're going to be back next year with exciting new things to share. Very, very excited about that. All right, so before I do the mantra meditation, which I see I'm running low on time. I got about 3 minutes left, so I'm going to make it a quick one. I want to share 2 gifts with you. Number one is I want to share the gift that Ali talked about because it's having such a profound effect on her life and her family members and her friends. And that are my 8 affirmations. And you can get those at 8affirmations.com, the number 8, and the word affirmations. And the reason why these are so powerful is every word on them is very intentional. And there's one affirmation for the 8 key areas of your life. So we cover everything. And so in literally a minute or 2 a day, you are affirming everything that you want in your life. So they're really, really powerful. All right. So I wanted to share that. And then the other thing that I wanted to share, because this is Thanksgiving week, we have a tradition in my family where we fill out a Thanksgiving gratitude sheet, and there's 4 questions on there, and you can get it at the link there. Kelly's got it. It's actually a bit.ly link. So it's, just take a screenshot of it. It's https://bit.ly/Thanksgiving sheet. And it's so awesome. So it's going to make you look for what you were grateful for this year. What was the best thing that happened to you this year? What's your life going to look like next year? It's really powerful for reflection and then also in creating your new future. So that's my gift to you. So happy, happy, happy holidays. All right. I got about a minute left, on this show. All right. So what I want you to do for this mantra meditation is, and I might go a minute over, and that's okay. What?
You only have 52 minutes. You have 4 minutes.
Oh, I have 4 minutes left. Oh, awesome. Woohoo. I thought I only had a minute left. Oh, now I can relax. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is get comfortable, because we are about to do a mantra meditation that's going to tie in everything that we talked about on the show today and leave you feeling inspired, empowered, and intentional in your life. And of course, aligned. So if you can, put your feet flat on the floor. I want you to take in a deep breath and hold it for 4 seconds. Breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, and then breathe out for 8 seconds. All right. And we're going to do this twice. You ready? All right. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4 and breathe out for 8. Okay, we're going to do that again. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4 and breathe out for 8. Keep your eyes closed. Just listen to the words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to influence others in my life just by being who I am. I don't need to be any different than who I am. I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. And the power and the influence that I have over others has a direct reflection of how I feel about myself. And I love myself. I honor myself. I treasure my life. I know that I am worthy, deserving, and powerful in my life. And I know that I am here to love and be loved, that I am loving, that I am lovable, that I truly am love. And I love myself unconditionally. I choose from this moment today to be the stance that I take. And that it doesn't matter how I ever felt about myself in the past, I am letting that go. I am allowed to make changes. I am allowed to pivot. I am allowed to reinvent. I am allowed to walk away from things that don't serve me. I am allowed to design my life to be anything that I want it to be. I am the one who's in control. That is my power, and that is my influence. And I have this day to honor myself head to toe, top to bottom, inside and out, knowing of my perfect imperfection. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So that's it for this week's episode of I Have Today. Thank you so much for being here. Please follow me at Diane Forster Official. Subscribe to my podcast and my YouTube channel at I Have Today with Diane Forster. You can catch the show at E360 TV. Feel free to go there and watch all our other episodes. You can find me at dianeforster.com. And I'm so grateful and thankful for all of you. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.